I'm back, guys. Part 3. Last night, off camera, I dug out the some aluminium tubes that I had lying around. And you can see there that I've sort of mocked up how it's going to look. They need adjusting a little bit, and I need to get some clamps, but better than using the mild steel exhaust tube. A lot less work. So in the previous video, I drilled these wrong. I've now corrected them. And I've just used a clamp just to hold it in place to mock it all up. So I'm going to tack that now. Then I'm going to see about maybe putting a bit of a chamfer on this top end of this pipe so that I get a better seal. But you can see there that I've got maybe 12mm of tightening, so I can tighten these up, and that's going to hopefully seal around there. We shall see. So I've got that to weld up, and then I'm going to I think I'm going to attempt this joint here. That needs turning a little bit. Don't worry, I'm just going to turn that. You take off this tape and turn it. My idea is to copy this is some leftover steel from the exhaust valve. I'm basically going to copy that shape, so I'm going to cut that wedge out of this pipe, and then I'm going to get a piece of straight pipe, and then it should sort of go inside this pipe. It'll make sense when I do it. So I'm going to attempt that. I'm going to attempt the difficult thing first, get that done, and then the easy bit is the pipe underneath. That's going to be a doddle. Right, let's crack on. Hi guys, so we're back again. It's a few days after the previous clip. The exhaust is almost done. So I've welded it up and it now needs grinding flat. One day I want a TIG welder, but we shall see. I've just put the turbo on there. I also need to finish the exhaust coming out the back of the turbo. I'll try and do that today. So the next job is, what I've been doing is I had to modify this little mount. What happened was, once the exhaust was on, it has to drop an inch for it to come off the manifolds, and with having that top bracket there, it couldn't go up or down, so that was the kind of bodge. I'm going to try and clean it up and make it look a bit neater, but that's going to be the new mount. But it's all on, it fits. So pull the exhaust off, grind back those welds, clean it up, and then we'll move on to the next job. The exhaust is done. There we go. Not going to bother anymore. I don't want any more grinding back. It is what it is. So that's done now. The next job for me is I'm going to keep on with some welding. This is a flange off of the old downpipe off of the old car. So I unbolt that flange. I'm going to have a section of exhaust coming off there. Something like that. And then I need to blank off this area here because we're not having a wastegate, as I said in the previous video. So I'm going to do that next, and then after that it'll be time to start working on this dipstick, which you can't see, but it's down here. I've loosened it off, but it's pretty well stuck in the sump or in the block. So it's going to be a bit of a task to get that out. Hopefully I can, and then I can start welding up the oil return feed, or the oil return drain, and we'll take it from there. Right, let's crack on. So I'm just finishing off the turbo back exhaust. That's what I've done so far. Just need to weld it together now. So an old flange. I've put a recess in that piece of pipe so that when it mounts on to the flange, it stops all the gases, the exhaust gases going to where the wastegate was. Just so it's a bit, I don't know, better in my opinion. So that's going to go onto there. Just needs to get the position correct. So I need to weld that together. And that will sit. So you can see there that, I'll do it that side. There you go. So it just kind of blocks off the exhaust gases so the weight from going anywhere near wastegate. So that'll sit inside there, weld that on, and then with this, I'm just going to somehow strap it closed so it doesn't vibrate and bang about. Right, we'll get some footage of some welding. There we go. That plate is all welded up, so I'm happy with that. So it's still red hot, so I can't touch it, but the next job is to weld on these angle pieces like that, and that is going to go on there, like that. So that means that on the engine, the exhaust is going to point down about 45 degrees, and then from there, I'm going to go to scrapyard, get an exhaust off another car, and then there'll be an exhaust on the floor to make it nice and quiet. And obviously we can take that off, take that exhaust off to make it nice and loud when we want it to be loud. So I'll crack on that bit next, and then we're nearly done. Okay, the exhaust is now done. So that's the little turbo back exhaust bit for the time being. Like I said, I'm going to just fasten that down, tie a wrap, just so it doesn't rattle. The rest of the exhaust is done. So I'm going to call that the end of part 3, I think this is. So the next video I need to concentrate on the oil feed and the oil return. Not too sure. I've got an idea if I'm going to do that, but I need to sort of plan it out. And then intercooler piping is practically done. Just need to clean it up, trim it, clamp it all down. Well, no, not the intercooler piping, the charge piping we'll call it. And then I've got to go back to the wiring, look at the wiring. So hopefully next sort of 3 or 4 episodes should be able to start trying to run it. So we shall see. Right, thanks for watching.